lot of sunshine, blue skies, marine clouds. Just the perfect day to go outside and relax. That's your forecast. We'll be right back.
Yeah, sunny days, sunny days, sunny days. No clouds in the sky, but again, away feels like it's been a freaking decade.
Welcome back to Season 2, Episode 2 of the Contracts and Cocktails podcast. I'm Kelly.
I'm Carolyn.
And today we're going to talk a little bit about travel because I just got back from a short little trip, and that's why I'm wearing this ridiculous souvenir shirt.
It's nice. We love it.
It's cozy.
Yeah.
So I went on a little cruise with Disney. I don't travel, by the way. I have travel anxiety really bad, really bad. Also, former flight attendant for 5 minutes, so that's really crazy about that. But I went, took my son. It was his 12th birthday this weekend. And a couple months ago, I was maybe slightly inebriated and decided, hey, how fun would it be if we just took Tristan on a birthday cruise? So I booked it while still inebriated for the two little kids and my husband and I. And we left on Friday morning and we got back early Monday morning. I survived. It was fun. I'm ready to book another one. So it was a success. It was really fun. I've cruised before. I've done Royal Caribbean. I've done Carnival. That was 7 years ago for Carnival. Royal Caribbean was like 22 years ago.
Hey, you're dating yourself.
I a little bit, yeah.
Only 17. So she was still in the womb.
It was I was in the womb. And I enjoyed Royal Caribbean. Carnival did not enjoy.
Yeah.
But Disney is like next level, I feel like, with the cruising. And it was amazing. And the kids had a blast. Even I thought maybe my son, because he was turning 12, like, is he too old for this?
Yeah.
No, not at all. He was not too old for this.
Yeah.
So he had a really good time. He's not social at all when he's home, but yet he wanted to be at like the kids club.
Yeah.
He wanted to hang out with like total
ages.
strangers like all night long and party. And so it was a Halloween themed cruise. So also I don't do Halloween. I never dress up. And I was wearing pirate costumes and the works.
Kelly posted pics.
Yes, they're on my personal Facebook. And if you find me on TikTok, you'll find some fun videos. So of our experience. And, my husband took the kids to Atlantis for the day that we were in Nassau. And that was the day that I curled up in the fetal position in my room and took lots of anxiety meds. So it was a lot, but the next day was super fun and we had a great time. And I was able to do that because, we've got the team here and you were showing buyers for me properties while I was gone.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the great thing about the team is that we do cover for each other. And I would say also one of the amazing things about the Space Coast is we live right by the port.
Yes.
I mean, you're at the port fast. In moments. You can take all these different cruises. You can do last minute cruises.
Yeah, we've done that before where we booked literally a few days before, like when we were selling our last house.
Yeah.
We put it on the market and I was like, I don't want to be here for these showings. What should we do?
That's a good idea.
I was like, how much for the weekend?
I'm gonna start recommending that to the clients.
Mm-hmm. It was a great way. Like, it was not my favorite cruise in the world, but we did get out of the house and the house sold while we were away. So that was
heavily. Yeah.
The whole time. Yeah. That time.
And you have Wi-Fi, so you can still get offers and information from your realtor.
We had Wi-Fi package, so I could still communicate. I was texting you and checking in and stuff like that, but I didn't take my laptop, and that's rare for me because if I go anywhere away from home, I have to have my computer, but I didn't feel the need for it, and I felt very unplugged and relaxed, and
so it was a good vacation.
It was a good vacation. Yeah.
And it's good to have people back at home. And, we were there and the team was there. And so it's really nice that you can get away. And I'm getting ready to go away this week.
Yes, you
for a whole week. My first post-COVID airplane trip, which is crazy to me because I love to travel. And I haven't been on an airplane since before COVID. And that's not because I've been afraid to get on an airplane. It's because the real estate market's been nutty.
Crazy. Yeah.
It's been nutty.
Too busy to go anywhere.
So I've just stayed here, but I just was like, nope, I'm going. And I can go and know that, hey, people will be able to be fully supported by Kelly and the rest of the team. So that's awesome. And, we are growing our team. And so we're actually looking for a couple agents. We were looking for a social media person, but I think we've got that. Sky, who's been with us for about a year now, has decided that she wants to be a full-time mom, and we support that, and that's exciting. She's due in November, so we were looking to replace her, and I think we have a great person there. So that that need's been filled, but we really, we have leads. And in this business right now, especially, there's a lot of agents really, I think, looking for leads. I actually turned off our lead stream for a little while because
we had too many.
So we're looking for some agents who are hungry, who, have some experience and really want to grow and be with a fun group, and also, have that lead stream coming in and be part of a group that supports you. So if you know anyone, or if you are that someone, reach out to us, hello@coastalestateteam.com, or you can call 321-422-2160. And we'd love to hear from you. So we're going to talk a little bit about what's happening in the market right now, I think, because what we're seeing is, there's a lot of confusion, I think. There's a lot of people saying, oh, prices are going down, or there's, everything, the sky is falling. And we're not seeing that. That's not what in reality is happening. I think what we saw for a long time is, well, my neighbor's house sold for X, so I'm going to add like 20% to that and list my house for X plus 20%. And sometimes X plus 20% actually worked.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
I mean, people were selling for that.
Absolutely. And that's why the prices continue to rise so quickly.
Yeah. And I think now what we're seeing is that there's not that exponential increase over the previous list price, but it's taking a little while for sellers to sort of understand. And we also have a lot of new agents who are not used to a negotiating market, not sure how to talk to a seller.
Right. They're not able to be that firm voice and say, look, I understand that you think that you're going to get X amount over what your neighbor just got last month or 6 months ago, but things have changed a little bit. So you're going to have to be able to negotiate things, not just price, but when it comes to repairs or
closing costs,
all of these things to help the buyers with what they're facing with interest rates.
Yeah, for sure.
So some of them you can help the sellers to maybe offer buying down their points for the buyer as an incentive to get their home sold.
Yeah. And so what you have happening now is the buyers are like, hey, I see prices changing. I see things are changing. I want this. You have sellers who are like, no, my neighbor sold for this. And look, if there's comps, things are selling for market value. It's not that they're selling for less.
Right.
They're just selling for market value. So, but you have sellers sitting on their, on their position, sort of drawing that line in the sand, saying, this is where I'm stopping. I'm not going any lower than this. And then you have the buyer on the other end looking at the seller going, well, I'm not going any higher than this. And there's this gap.
Yes,
there's a gap.
and
it requires a level of skill to negotiate that gap. Right. And I think that, we are very successful in doing that. We are remaining successful in doing that, but it is a much harder market for both parties.
It is. Yeah.
And they're both just sitting there saying, this is what we want, and we don't want to negotiate. And so you have to try very hard to bring those two sides together now.
Right.
And one of the things I think that we're good at it on the team is teaching new agents how to do that, assisting, going along on appointments,
right,
helping with the scripts and all the things that help bring people. And look, we want the best for our client and for the transaction, but at the same time, we also want to be very clear in our knowledge and spreading the knowledge and explaining to people, this is what it is, in a way that's understandable.
Right. And not just fluffing them up and being like, oh, yes, your house is worth, $500,000 more than your neighbor's house down the street. Of course, it's so amazing, just so that you can snag the listing, because at the end of the day, if it doesn't sell, you're not making any money.
No.
So you want to be realistic. You don't want to waste your time. You want to work with people who are realistic, or they're at least close to where they need to be, and that that they're going to listen to reason and take your advice and not think that they're smarter than you.
Yes.
It's not about being smart or not smart. It's like, what is the knowledge? What is the market telling us? What are your showings telling us? The feedback, all of those things kind of come into play. And you have to be able to get that for them, because we've talked to sellers before. It's like, what feedback were you getting when you didn't sell last time? Oh, well, I didn't get any feedback.
Right.
Why not? There was no feedback. You had how many showings and nothing?
Right.
So that's super important. And of course, there are agents that don't leave feedback. That's okay. Call them.
Right.
I call them.
Right. We hassle them. And sometimes you still can't get any, but at least we try.
Well, yeah.
We do our very best. And I think, Kelly and I have listed some properties recently. Our properties have gone under contract fairly quickly, less than a week. And, within, honestly, a few days. But we're pricing properly for the current market. And things are still selling. There is still a shortage of inventory.
Absolutely,
we have
yeah.
buyers who cannot find homes. And it's not because they're unrealistic in what they're wanting to purchase. There's not a lot of inventory. And then we're running into this issue again where, there are sellers who don't want to move right now. And they will,
eventually
time will
they
bring
will.
them down. But, I think that we all have to be a little bit patient right now, and we all have to be understanding, but we also have to understand that we live in a very unique area. The Space Coast, I always say, humankind, that we're explorers, from the beginning of time, people have explored, and, what is it, Star Trek or something? They're like, the next great frontier.
Right.
Space, the final frontier.
Final frontier.
We should play a little.
I'm not really
Star
into the
Trek.
Star Trek.
Oh, no, really? I like Star Trek.
Yeah.
You don't like Star Trek?
I've never watched it.
Oh, Captain Kirk and all that?
Yeah, my husband gets after me all the time. He's like, "You've never seen that?
You
Don't
have
ask
to
me.
see Captain Kirk and
Don't
the
ask
old
me what
ones.
else I haven't seen. Star Wars, never seen one.
No.
It's bad.
Oh, we're doing a marathon.
A movie marathon.
You've never seen Star
I'm
Wars?
just not into it.
None of them?
No, not one. Never.
Not Luke.
I have not seen a single Avengers movie either.
Well, I don't think.
I am not a very good Disney person, am I?
No, but Star Wars? Really?
Nope. Not a one.
Okay, so we're going to pull up.
But I have watched every franchise
Yeah.
of the Real Housewives. So
Oh, well, that's important. I'm sorry, but that's funny. We'll have to do a little movie marathon.
yeah, that'd be fun.
That would be fun.
I might be able
Force
to get
you to
through
see
it.
all the Star Wars movies. You'd be like, please no.
Oh my God, that's like torture. Like if you don't sell enough houses, that's what we're going to make you do. You got to earn your keep.
I love that.
Yeah.
I can't believe you've not seen a Star Wars. Anyway, off topic. So,
Yes.
yeah. So, what was I saying? Hello, I've lost my train of thought.
No, but like the area here,
Yeah.
because we have the commercial space that's happening, with SpaceX. It's huge.
Yes.
Such a big deal.
Yes.
And I actually had a lady that called me, week before last, looking for like these rental situations, like 5-bedroom, 5 baths with pools and gyms in them, as a rental. And I'm like, there's not a lot of those here. And
Yeah.
we don't really handle rentals, but
Yeah.
I'm like, can I ask what it's for? She's like, well, I had to sign an NDA, but it's for a quarantine for astronauts for SpaceX. So they can't
Really?
leave the house. And that's why they need all these
Cool. You didn't
things.
tell me that. That's neat.
Yeah, so they needed 2 of them. So she's looking because they do this like in Texas. They quarantine them there, and then they shipped them here for the last launch that they just took off. But usually there's 5 of them in a home, and they live together, work together.
That I sold those ocean
Yeah.
houses, and
would
he's
be-
a legal Airbnb.
That would
on
be
the ocean
good.
with 5 bedrooms.
Yeah, she
And
needs.
they're next door to each other.
Then she needs that.
Yeah.
Yes, 2 5-bedrooms.
this is
5
how we're
baths.
conducting business.
I should have told you sooner.
You should have.
But she set up on a search, and they looked at a couple like in the Orlando area, but she needs them to be really as close as possible to the launch pad and
see?
all of that. So if you know anybody that's got a big giant mansion for
do.
rent,
I do.
but it's interesting
Yeah.
the kind of business that we get here and the phone calls we get. So there's that, and plus you have all the other like contracting
Aerospace.
firms here. Yeah.
So I think, years ago, I was riding around with this super, super smart man who he said, the Space Coast is like the, Silicon Valley for aerospace. And this was before all this happened, before they privatized and all that stuff. And he said, this is where it's going to be. And really, honestly, that's what's happening. And we see that happening. So the demand for houses is not going away anytime soon.
Right. And I feel like this area has been like that for a really long time because
Yeah.
I can remember when I was a little girl, my mom worked for the federal government on a space program. And she would travel to Melbourne to go to Harris before they merged with L3.
Yeah.
And she had like a little knickknack that she brought home that said like Melbourne, Florida on it. And lo and behold, here I land because
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
weird.
from here. So
Yeah.
just thought it was really interesting. It's like full circle, small world kind of stuff. But it's been part of the environment here for a really long time.
Yeah. And one of the things, with the hurricane just, unfortunately really devastating the west coast of Florida. But one of the things I think that's interesting about Brevard County is how high we are in general as a county and also the barrier island above sea level
Right.
compared to most of the barrier coastal areas of Florida were really high here.
Yeah.
So, for people who have a concern about that, but most of our mainland areas are not, I don't think there's any that are evacuation areas really. And even on the coast, you may, because of wind, want to evacuate, but storm surge is not the same issue here.
We don't have that storm surge issue. I mean, it would take like a literal tsunami, I think, to do any major damage here.
So, and you have warning. So
Yeah.
get out. Take your little space suit and get out.
Fly me to the moon.
Yes, right. So I think that's it for today. We're winging it here, and again, we appreciate you watching. If you have questions for us, just email us hello@coastalestateteam.com. Call us 321-422-2160. We would love to sell your house. We'd love to represent you in the purchase of a home or vacant land or whatever it is that you're looking for. And we are ready to get to work on your behalf. So so we'll see you. We'll see you next episode. I love that we're season 2. It makes us sound so fancy.
Yeah, season 2.
Season 2.
It's like a reboot.
It is a reboot.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Next time.
Today's forecast, a lot of sunshine, blue skies, marine clouds. Just the perfect day to go outside and relax. That's your forecast. We'll be right back.